And we're back. Mike Cernovich, Danger and Play, Guerrilla Mindset, here to talk about marketing and pre-launching your product. And I'm going to give you a little bit of inside baseball. So right now I'm going to do something that I don't ever do, and that is I'm going to help somebody launch a product. This isn't something I like to do because, well, quite frankly, people are they're a pain in the ass to work with. People want to argue with me about stuff, and that just really isn't where I'm at in life. It's kind of my way or the highway. And, so we're going to try it out. We're going to see how this goes. And I'm literally sitting here writing it out. And I thought, maybe I'll just do like a little video that you can use and you can think about if you want to do your own product launch. And I'll also tell you exactly how I market to you. My marketing has always been very transparent. If I'm selling something, I'm selling something. So, you ready? Let's get to work. The first thing you want to do is, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things you want to do, but let's assume you have an idea that, someday you'd like to make a living on the internet and you would like to sell information products, whether that's your book, courses, or even your consulting or coaching services. So the first thing you want to think about, and I've done this a long time ago, is called positioning. Position yourself as an expert. And when you do this, it's going to be easier to pre-sell people. So for example, this video, if I sold marketing services, I would be positioning myself as a marketer, as a marketing guy, right? Because I'm giving you value. So that's why you would say, well, how do you position yourself as an expert in your field? Well, you got to put the legwork in, and you have to demonstrate to people that you're an expert. Now, if I were actually trying to position myself as a marketing expert, probably fix my hair. I do things a little bit differently, but I'm sort of talking to people who already know about me. But if I wanted to move into another area and people who didn't ever know about me, I'd position myself completely differently. So let's say, for example, I wanted to position myself as a marketing expert, and I wanted to find brand new people. I would go on Facebook, and I would give them a completely different experience because they wouldn't know me, right? But these YouTube videos I'm doing for pretty much Danger and Play and Guerrilla Mindset people, I don't really promote it I don't promote it on YouTube. I'm not trying to get new people. But that's the first thing you want to think of is, how can you position yourself as an expert? And the way you position yourself as an expert, I'm going to cross that off, is the good old-fashioned, how-to articles, how-to videos. If you think you know how to do something such that people should pay you, whether that's because you're in fitness, you think you really know how to train people, how to get people in shape, well, how are you going to position yourself as that, right? You have to demonstrate value. So how-to articles, videos, things like that, and we talk about that in Guerrilla Mindset. I know guys who are, boxers, jiu-jitsu guys, and they'll go to class every day and teach a class for like 2 hours. And they're like, why don't you just film a move a day, every day? And I don't know what the issue is. Like, why don't you? Because if you want to sell people your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu course, how long does it take to do a video a day? You're already teaching. Now, sure, you need to edit and everything else, but you want to think about how you can scale your knowledge. If you know how to do something, you want to figure out how you can demonstrate to the world that you can do it. Well, do videos. This is a fucking how to market your own product video, right? That positions myself as a person who understands marketing. And then if I sold marketing courses, or if I wanted a mastermind group, or if I wanted this or that, right? Well, what have I done with this video? Position myself by demonstrating value. Always demonstrate value. Next thing you want to think about is, how to deal with your email list. There's two kind of primary ways to deal with it, and regular guys, you know what mine is. Mine is the demonstrate value method of engagement with the email list. So when I email the list, it's almost never to sell them anything unless it's a product or a book review or something like that I've written about. I don't run people through a sales funnel. But that's not the only way. Another way to do things is I could post an ad for, Guerrilla Mindset on Facebook. And I could say, download. What I could do is I could take all of the Guerrilla Mindset shifts and the Guerrilla habits that I already have in the Guerrilla Mindset book, make them into like a pretty little PDF, and then I could advertise on Facebook using targeted demographics, right? Even though Guerrilla Mindset is a book for everyone, I would probably target men aged 18 to 34 who's ever liked a page by Joe Rogan, Dave Asprey, Tim Ferriss. And you can do that on Facebook. So if you've liked those types of sites, James Altucher, I got a big overlap with him. So if you like James Altucher's page, you would get a sponsored story in your feed saying, hey, download this free PDF guide to some habits that you can apply to your life, and because people love habits. And then what I would do is that'd run you through a sales funnel. You would get that free chapter, and then I would automatically, using autoresponders, reply to you and say, hey, hope you liked Gorilla Mindset. By the way, I'm Mike Cernovich. Here's where you can buy the full book, right? And then I throw away some freebies or something to get people at it, or hey, I'm Mike Cernovich. You should read Danger and Play, right? And then the email will start kind of like barraging you. That's what I mean by the sales funnel. The sales funnel email is buy something or get fucked, get off my list. People are driving fast. You can see that now when you join email lists or whatever. I love to do it because I love to see their sales funnel. And a lot of them will say, hey, we're having a seminar in LA on December or whatever. And then you click on the link and it tracks it, and then it tracks what you do. So it'll say, hey, I see that you clicked on the link, but you didn't buy the book. And then you raise objections. You run them through a different funnel, right? And you have a whole process. And that's the whole point of this email list, is to sell you on something. And I don't like receiving those myself. I don't like being run through a sales funnel. So that isn't how I treat people. I treat people the value add. If you join my list, if you join my list for the first time, have an autoresponder campaign saying, hey, thanks for joining my list. Here are the 10 most read articles in Danger Play. Oh, and by the way, I have a book, Gorilla Mindset. And I probably will set that up. But my email list is pretty straightforward. You get a PDF, either books men should read as one, and then kind of like a guide to Danger and Play, which is a PDF, and it's kind of like a nifty little ebook guide to Danger and Play. And then when I email the list, it's just to say, hey, I have a new article. Or sometimes I'll send something to the list that I haven't put on Danger and Play. One time to my Gorilla Mindset list, I had these audiobook review codes that I got from Audible. And I just sent them all in an email, and I said, hey, here's 10 codes, first come, first serve. Whoever uses them, uses them. That's how I treat my list, but that's a different way to do it. So you want to figure out what you're comfortable doing as a marketer and as a person. My general belief is that I'm a good customer to have. So I want people like me. If I like you, I'll buy your books. Even if I don't read your books, if I like you, I'll still buy them. I'm the kind of person where if you write a good website, you release a book, I'll buy, every one of your books. I'll probably read them because obviously if I'm reading your website, I like it. But anyway, I think I want people like me on Danger and Play. Well, people like me don't like being run through these fucking sales funnels. Just like, dude, chill. Like, I'll buy something. And there wasn't even a good Jeff Walker video recently. And Jeff Walker, he's a good guy to be on his email list. You can see how he does it. Every week he sends out a new video to his list, and it's a good video, and it makes you want to buy from the guy. And he did a study in one of his videos, and they showed that I think it is only 25% of people buy from you within the first 6 months. The rest of the people, if they ever buy, 2 years, right? Now, there are people here who have read Danger and Play since the beginning. You watch these videos. You haven't bought Gorilla Mindset. And that's why I don't run you like, well, you better go buy it, How dare you? It's just like, it might take you 2 years to buy it, You're only going to get 25% of people those first 6 months. So if your email list is annoying and you're just annoying your list, the people are going to unsubscribe your list or they're going to report you as spam, and then you've lost that person forever. So that's what you want to think about. But that sales funnel approach does work for some people. Just try it both ways. You always want to do what works for you and also what's consistent with your values. Me spamming people, it's just not. It's not consistent with how I want to live and how I want to make my living. So I'm not going to do it. I would say the next thing you want to think about is whether you want to do a book or a course, or if you want to consult with people. It varies. So the way you want to look at that is like pricing. So Gorilla Mindset has sold 8,100 copies. The ebook is $9. The paperback, I think, is 15, 14, and the audiobook is 15. So, not too shabby, right? But if I can get 8,100 people, and we're still selling, 50 to 75 books a day. If I can get 8,100 people to buy those books at those prices, could I have got 1%, right? With 1%, and I should have like a little whiteboard. Maybe one day I'll do like a fancy marketing video. But could I have gotten 1% of those 8,100 people to have bought a $100 product, right? Or to have bought a $1,000 product? Well, you can't sell people a $100 book. Nobody in the world is going to buy a book for $100, even if they, well, there are some guys who do it, but it's a bit of a slog, right? What you could do is sell a course. I could sell the guerrilla marketing course, and each chapter would be like a lecture, and you would have big open enrollment, and I would give live lectures, and then you could we could talk, work on whatever you're doing, and by doing that, could I make more money? Right? Yeah, I could make more money doing courses. I do things differently because I like the life of a writer. I live a very, despite what you see on the internet, I live a very quiet life. And I would like to maintain that quiet life. So how do you maintain that quiet life? Okay? What you do is you write when you sell books. But it's a different game, and that's what I give you guys options. Right? I give you options, I tell you how to do it. You don't even have to do it the way I do it. And then the next point you want to think about is anticipation versus scarcity. So as you know in marketing, scarcity is huge. You got 48 hours and the sale is over. 48 hours and this, right? Well, if I'm selling books, I can't use scarcity. People have tried it, but what happens if you use scarcity to market a book is they'll just torn it. So what if I say guerrilla mindset, buy it this week only, and then it's gone? Well, come on. Even if you really like me, if I did that, maybe you didn't read Danger and Play for a week, maybe you missed a date or whatever, it'd be really easy to rationalize torrenting the book, right? If you have a digital product, anybody who wants to pirate it can pirate it. So what you want to do is you don't want to give people an excuse to pirate your music. I'm young enough to remember why the music industry collapsed. Rather young enough, old enough. Back in the day, the only way to get a song you liked was to buy a whole CD, and the CD was like $15, and most of the songs on the CD weren't very good. You couldn't just buy the digital tracks. So what did everybody do? You just downloaded music. So if you create scarcity for a product like mine, for a book, you're done. But if it's a course or it's consulting, you can create scarcity. I could send an email out and say, I'm going to take 100 people in a mastermind group. And I have a big list, big social media, big Danger and Play. That would be legitimate scarcity. I would fill up 100 pretty quick, right? But I couldn't create scarcity for, and you would say you only do 100 even if you could fit 200 because you got to create scarcity. If you just say for a limited time only, I'm taking coaching clients. No, you want to say I have 100, and then you want clock or a thing ticking back, right? Only 55, only 15, right? Scarcity. So get in or get fucked, right? But you can't do that for a book. So with the book, what you do is you create anticipation. My next book is going to be out February 2016. I hope, but this shit always takes longer than you think. So I'm already getting anticipation. That way, you've waited 6 months, so you're going to buy it. So when marketers only talk about scarcity, if they don't talk about anticipation, they're not very good marketers. And then that's where we want to talk about sort of like the pre-launch, which I think is a term Jeff Walker coined. But Jeff Walker's thing is very rigid, and mine is much more open-ended. But a pre-launch would mean I'm going to talk about the book that I'm going to release in February 2016. That's part of the pre-launch. Or you're thinking, what's the book about? Oh, it'll be good. And I'm positioning myself about the book. You notice that I write about different stuff now, right? I still write about mindset, but I'm starting to write a little bit more about men's issues, socio-political issues. Well, why have I done that? I'm positioning myself as a credible authority on the subject I'm about to write about. That's why I tell you I market. I got no problem with that, telling you how I do it. That's part of my marketing strategy. And that's what we're doing. Pre-launch, positioning. Everything ties together. The next thing you want to think about is 3D marketing. So in today's era, especially with the younger people, and it's true of everybody, what makes you really want to watch a boxing match? Well, boxing is the human drama. That's why you always go behind the scenes when you're watching a music video. You want to know about the band. By learning about the band, you like their music more. You feel more of a connection. You feel like you know the person, then you want to see the person succeed. I don't know what the term for that is. I call it 3D marketing, three-dimensional. I'm not just Mike Cernovich, a guy with a book called Gorilla Mindset. I'm Mike Cernovich, and kind of here's how I live my life. Here's what I do. Here's Shauna. I'm a whole human being. And then, you want to talk too about, what are your goals? Because when people like you, they want to see you succeed. So I said, I want to do 10,000 books in my first year. Well, that makes people are like, oh, okay, well, I want to see them make that goal because they like you. 3D marketing. So call it what you will, call it behind the scenes, but the music industry has done it for a long time. Boxing and the UFC does it too, right? If you're going to watch the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight or whatever the big boxing matches are, the big UFCs are, you go behind the scenes, you watch them training, their diet, their sleeping, the struggle, you watch them hanging out, and then you feel like, okay, I'm ready for it, right? Because we are human beings. We want to be connected, right? And you don't buy products, you buy from people. And ultimately, that's what you do on the internet, is you're selling a person a product, an information product, whether it's a book, course, consulting. You're selling your expertise. People want to know who you are. They want to see your face. You have to do that. Plus, it goes back to positioning, too. I mean, if you have a pretty together life, and you have a book about gorilla mindset, then you've proven that probably the book will be useful, right? So if you're in fitness and you're doing your training videos and stuff, I think a lot of those guys take it too far and are a little bit too much of attention whores. But, you take people behind the scenes to see you working out, they think, well, maybe you can do that for them. Or if you help people lose fat, they think maybe you can do that for them. Next, 3 things we'll kind of hit these real fast because we're at 17 minutes. So let's hit 3 points real fast. The next one would be you got to network early. If you think you're going to launch a product by yourself, unless you're already very well established, it's going to be very hard. But even if you are well established, the internet now is micro niches or niches. I never sure how to pronounce the word. But not everybody, even sites where there's like a lot of overlap, Bold and Determined and Good Looking Loser are the 2 sites probably more people read than any other sites, right? How do you want to say that? More of a percentage of people read our sites than read any other sites. So if you go, what other sites do Danger Play readers read? I would give you a list, right? And those would be the most overlap. But there's not 100% overlap. Not everybody who reads Bold and Determined or Good Looking Loser reads Danger and Play. So if I can get Good Looking Loser and Bold and Determined to write an article about me, people who have never heard about me, even though there's a big overlap, are going to learn about me, right? So you got to network early. How do you network early? You got to work your way up the food chain. The biggest way to do it is to write reviews of the website. Write reviews of Gorilla Mindset. I got people all the time saying, I wrote this article, link to it. I click over to your site and you've never reviewed Gorilla Mindset. You've never done anything for me, but you want me to do something for you, even though that would be very disproportionate, right? So if I write, you're going to get a lot of clicks. A lot of clicks. If you write about me, I'm not even going to get that many clicks. I might get 10, 20 clicks from most websites. Very few websites are big enough to send me an appreciable number of traffic. I appreciate all the writing, but the idea that you want me to send you, hundreds or thousands of clicks, but you've never sent me even 10 or 20 clicks, Not very smart. So to network early, you have to essentially write about other people. You have to review their stuff. There's no other way around it because nobody like me with a big audience is going to help you if you've never done anything for me. Because why would I? I mean, think about the entitlement again. Like a link for me might be worth 10 or 100 times more to you than a link for you is to me. You won't even give me one little link or one little write-up of Gorilla Mindset, but you want me to do all this for you. So you got to network early. The best way to network early is find people who are in your niche, you don't go for the big guns, you go for the medium guns. So Tim Ferriss, big gun. If you write a review of the 4-Hour Work Week, he will never, in a million years, link to you or boost your product based on that. You got to, the medium guns are guys like me. I probably will. If people link to Danger and Play, I at least tweet a link to it, right? Or if they write a review, I try to work a link in. I'm like a medium gun. So the big mistake people make is you're like a little gun and you're trying to get the big guns to send you traffic and notice you. But they're just not going to. If you write about Joe Rogan, is Joe Rogan, wow, it's hot in here. If you write about Joe Rogan, is Joe Rogan going to even notice it, first of all? Probably not, because I don't even notice anymore everybody who links to me. I only look at the top 10 referrals of my traffic because I get a lot of links from a lot of people. So I don't even notice the people. But if I were Joe Rogan level, who he's probably 10 times what I am in terms of like traffic and everything else, maybe more, but at least 10 times. He's not going to notice you. Now, if I link, maybe he notices. So that's what I mean by working your way up the food chain. Food chain, you got to look at guys who are a little bit above you. And how do you measure that? I think I call it the 10x theory. So look for people, most people who have a website that know about me, I'm 10x you. Like my scope, readership, whatever your metrics are, I'm 10x. And in a lot of cases, I'm even, more than that. Joe Rogan is like 10x of me in terms of websites. In terms of worldwide fame, even more than that. But just in terms of if Joe Rogan had a website, it would do, 10x more daily readers than my website gets. Maybe more, right? But that's how you want to think that means there's 100x between you and Joe Rogan, right? Or 100x between you and Tim Ferriss. So what do you got to do? You got to go after the people 2, 3, 4, 5, 10x above you. And that kind of covers the podcast circuit too. If you listen to a podcast, you like the podcast, write a review on iTunes and write a review on your website. Why I really like, whatever website it is you listen to or the podcast you listen to, write a review. That's how you get noticed. And then if you're reviewing the podcast, then when you got a product out, maybe you can pitch the guy. The guy knows about you and maybe he'll be receptive. That's how you got to think. And then the last point is, this isn't so much true for books, but it is true for products. Give your affiliates a first shot. So on Amazon, the affiliate payout on a book is 8%. Nobody is going to link to Gorilla Mindset because they really want 8% of everybody on their list who's going to buy a book. Let's say, for example, you sent out an email and sold 200 copies of Gorilla Mindset. That would be a fucking lot. You would need, at least probably 10, maybe 20,000 people on your list to sell a couple hundred of your books. Okay, the payout of that is going to be 80 cents a book. So how much is that really worth to send out an email? Most people with that kind of traffic aren't going to do it for the affiliate payout for Amazon. But if you're going the eJunkie route where affiliate payouts are like 50 to 75%, or you're doing like a big course route, where you're going to sell a product for $100, $1,000, let the affiliates email their people first crack. So take again, Good Looking Loser, Bold and Determined. We have a lot of overlap, but we don't have full overlap. So here's the way I would pitch a product to them if I were going to sell it, like an eJunkie or do some kind of course where I was paying out a 50% affiliate payout. I would say, hey guys, I know that we have an overlapping audience, but I'm going to give you guys 48 hours before I even email my guys. That way any of my guys who happen to be on your list, you're going to get the payout from them. And then you'll get, obviously, the payout from your own guys. Then I'm going to give you the first crack. Maybe it's for 48 hours, or maybe it's a week. Or maybe I would even probably link on my website, hey, the only 2 people who have it right now are Chris and Victor. So if you want to buy it, you got to buy it from them. Well, would that incentivize people? Or you could do that even for smaller affiliates, right? Now, is that going to incentivize people to really try to pump you up? Yeah. Whereas if I emailed my list and then I post it on my website, then I get that bigger first rush of sales. And then I'm like, oh yeah, hey guys, by the way, will you email me your list, right? Maybe they still would, maybe they wouldn't, but you want to make it as attractive to people as you can. So that's why you want to give your affiliates the first crack at these high-value product launches. Again, if it's a book, nobody's going to be persuaded to sell Gorilla Mindset because they really want, 70 cents or 80 cents for every copy they sell. But for bigger things, that's what you want to think about. All right, guys, so hopefully that I gave you a lot to talk about, to think about. I'll write out these 10 points real quick for you guys. So this is just how I wrote them down, but it's not how I covered them. The 10 concepts we covered are anticipation versus scarcity, positioning yourself as an expert in the market, 3-dimensional marketing, whether you want to sell a book or a course, give affiliates the first shot, go on that podcast circuit, because every new podcast guy probably has people listening who've never heard of you. Network early, network today, network 2 years before you're ever going to launch. The way to network is you hype other people up. But don't lie, obviously. I mean, only do what I do. You know, if I see somebody who writes something good, I'm going to leave an honest review and say it. Pre-launch, again, start talking about your product for a long time, because if you're not going to sell it using scarcity, you want to get people excited about it. Decide what you're going to do with email. Is that going to be a funnel, a sales funnel, or is there going to be like a value add thing? And then finally, you know, how-to articles, how-to videos. That is the best way to position yourself as an expert. It's also great for your SEO. So there you go. Ask your questions below. Let me know what you think of the video. Do you want to hear more marketing stuff? Do you like it? Maybe it's too inside baseball. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'll talk to you soon. Maybe I'll talk to you tomorrow.